Happy Monday, everyone. It's Hannah with the Heart Foundation. And today you are joining us for another live conversation with a heart health warrior. And today I'm so excited. We are being joined by John from Just John and Jimmy. There's a very good chance that you have stumbled upon some of their content here on Instagram. It is a lot of hilarious couples content, some pop culture reviews, but recently in the last few months, some of their content has changed a little bit because earlier this year, John found out that he needed open heart surgery. So today we're going to have a conversation with John all about his journey with heart disease, his journey with heart health. And today is actually a very special day for him because we are 6 weeks out from his open heart surgery date today. So I'm so excited that we're going to be talking with him today. Before I pull him on, I do want to tell you a little bit about the Heart Foundation. This year, 2026, is our 30th year as a nonprofit. We're located in Southern California. And for 30 years, we've been advocating for the education, early detection, and prevention of heart disease, which is the leading cause of death for women and men in the United States and around the world. We are very proud to support groundbreaking research happening at Cedars-Sinai, which is one of the top cardiology programs in the country. And the research that we support is under the direction of world-renowned cardiologist, Dr. P.K. Shaw. And all of this started because 31 years ago, a 35-year-old man named Stephen Cohen was playing basketball with his friends and suffered a fatal heart attack. And we're going to talk a little bit with John about how external and internal health don't always match up. And that was certainly Stephen's case. He looked healthy on the outside, but he had no idea that something on the inside was going wrong. So for 30 years, we have been honoring Steve's memory and also advocating to spread awareness of heart disease and of the things that we can do in our daily lives to help prevent tragedies like Steve's. So here, I am going to add in John. Oh, let's see if that worked, John. There he is.
Hi, how are you?
It's so great to see you, John. Thank you so much for joining me. And you're in New York. You're on the East Coast.
I'm on the East Coast, yes. So it's lunchtime for me. I know it's early in the morning for you guys, but
That's all right. I love a bi-coastal conversation. It's wonderful.
this is great. I'm so glad you invited me to do this.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. I was immediately drawn to your content, right? I stumbled upon your content, and first of all, I do want to tell you congratulations. You're 6 weeks out today.
6 weeks to today, 6 weeks ago, at this time, my surgery was starting actually, 12 p.m. So
What? How are you
I've come a
feeling?
long way. My God, it's been a journey, let me tell you.
Incredible. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel good and the healing's been going well and progressing nicely. So I'm very, very thrilled. So.
That's fantastic news. I'm so happy for you. Can you tell me a little bit about, I know you're an active guy, you run a lot, you have a history of distance running.
Yeah.
You posted a video about looking at your yearly mileage covered, like
Yes.
hundreds of miles.
I was running almost 20 miles a week on average, some weeks are higher or lower, and ran a handful of half marathons and a couple of 10Ks in the last 3 years. Yeah, it's
Just
crazy.
casual half marathons.
But I'll be honest, I wasn't always active, in my 20s and 30s. I didn't have the best, habits and things like that. But when I turned I'm 51 now, but when I turned 40, that's when I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, I got to start changing my diet, start exercising. And I did. And I was a former smoker. But
Mhm.
a lot of this, again, comes down to genetics, everything that happened to me.
Right.
So.
So yeah, okay. So you were active runner, had cleaned up your daily habits,
Yep.
were living a quote unquote healthy lifestyle, and
Yep.
you've told me zero symptoms.
No
So
symptoms.
so what happened earlier this year that led to you having open heart surgery six months or 6 weeks ago?
Yeah. So every year, like clockwork, I do my physical, and my sugars are always good. My blood pressure is
Mhm.
good, especially since I started running like 7 years ago.
Mhm.
And the only thing that I've always consistently had was slightly elevated cholesterol. It was my
Mhm.
total cholesterol, and my LDL was the one thing. My triglycerides were good. If people know triglycerides, HDL, the good cholesterol, that was always kind of where it needed to be. But my LDL was elevated. And for years, I'll be honest, my doctor was like, you should take a statin, you should take a statin. And I'm like, I didn't want to take the meds. I'm like, I'm running. I'll manage my diet. I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So anyway, in November, I had my standard blood work, and my cholesterol did come down over, if you look back from like 3 years ago to now, even my total cholesterol was like, I think it was like 230 and it went to 213, which if you know the numbers, that's borderline high.
Right.
My LDL was at 160 at one point. I went down to 140. So it was going in the right direction. But because I was 51, because of strong family history, my father had a heart attack and bypass at 49.
Mm-hmm.
His mom, my grandmother, had multiple bypasses. She had one in her late 50s and one later on in her 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. Like heart disease was in my family. So he was really pushing me to like start meds now. And I honestly, I was a little reluctant because you're always like, you don't want to start taking something, but um, he said, just go for more tests, do more tests. Like, I'm not going to do an exercise stress test. You're going to pass it because you're running long distances. So you're fine.
Right.
So I did what was called like a cardiac CT scan that like gives you your calcium score, checks for blockages, abnormalities, etc. And that's where my calcium score came back at 525. Now,
And
there's
that's
some people
considered that's considered dangerous. Yeah.
established heart disease. So it was
Right.
known established heart disease. So I did the test in December and then I got my results in early January and
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, give me the drugs. I'm gonna take the statin. I'll go on baby
Everything I
aspirin.
said before, I take it back. Give it to me
Yes,
now.
yes. Because I had proof on paper it was there, like
Right.
family history, everything. So he said I also suggest based on this and some of the things that they saw in the test was just like go for an angiogram. It's like the gold standard. We'll
Mhm.
see your arteries, we'll see what's going on, and go from there. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And at this point, I just thought I was like, it wasn't like urgent. Like they scheduled it like 7 weeks later for me to do the angiogram. So I was like, all right, it's not. I'm fine. So I started running again, and I was doing all the things. And when I went to the angiogram, I was very nervous, but I was also part of me was like, this isn't real. I'm just going to take my meds and move on to my life. Like it wasn't really
Sure.
happening.
Sure.
And my doctor prepared me. He's like, hey, worst case, there's a blockage. We'll give you a stent and you'll be fine. We're just going to see. So in my head, I was just like, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to do this angiogram and I'll be done.
Hmm.
And sure enough, this is where it got like scary for me. My husband was with me.
Hmm.
Um, the cardiologist gave me the results, and he goes, "There's multiple blockages, too complicated for a stent. We require open heart surgery for what they call it cabbage for a bypass." And I
Right.
was like, "What do you mean?" Like I was just
Like
shocked.
it wasn't landing. It wasn't computing. Like me, you're looking at my scans. There's no way.
Yes, I thought it was wrong. I like give me the paperwork. Like I was just like in shock, and I'm like, and
Mhm.
I turned to my husband Jimmy. I'm like, did he really just say that? Like I have to have surgery? And then I waited a little bit, and I said I'll do the pre-surgical testing now because it still wasn't even registering. I'm like, go ahead, do whatever you got to do. And then
Right.
the surgeon came over, and he spent some time with me, and I really like, the first thing I said to him was, I feel fine. We had just had a blizzard in New York. I said I just shoveled 30 inches of snow. I ran 7 miles last weekend,
When
and he's
when you said that, was he like, don't tell me that? Like,
he said he's like I could sit down and tell you stories all day.
yeah,
So apparently it's very common to not have symptoms and have significant blockages. It's
yeah,
very common. So he like again at the day of it was still very shocking and still very like, oh my God, it's the scariest decision. And I look back and laugh on it now. He goes, you could wait a few weeks if you want, but I could fit you in on Monday. And I'm like, this was on a Wednesday, and I'm like, I'm not going for a haircut. Like, just fit me in. Like it was a little
oh my
much, but
gosh. And here we are now, 6 weeks later.
yes, I'm glad I did it early. I'm glad it was a very rough, hard experience, but
Yeah,
scary. Still scary because you don't, I'm
absolutely.
still healing, and I'm walking comfortably 4 or 5 miles, but it's not like I'm putting on my sneakers and going for a run. I've still got
Right,
to gradually get up there, but I'm glad
right.
I did it. I feel like I have like a new lease on life now, and I feel like I have all the knowledge and I could go forward doing the right things.
I love that. I think that one of the things that so many people kind of discuss and talk about after a heart surgery is the physical recovery, right? Like that is a major surgery on your body. Cardiac
Yeah.
rehab is so important. How do you feel like this entire experience has impacted your mental health specifically? Has that been a challenging thing to overcome, especially since you were so surprised to even need a surgery like this?
Yes. I mean, I will say, like, in the beginning after the surgery, I was very emotional and very,
Mm,
like, and I'm still a little obsessive over things,
mhm.
but I'm learning, like, okay, I'm taking the medicines, I'm
Right.
walking, I'm worried. The big thing for me is, like, I'm worried about, like, what I can and cannot eat. And to me, that was the hardest thing I was struggling with because I enjoy food. I'm a foodie. I love going out to
Right.
dinner with friends. Um, but yeah, it's been, I've definitely, it was a struggle because it bothers me that I can't just go and run. I just want to go out and run. It was my stress relief. So I'm like stressed
For
over the
sure.
surgery and all this stuff going on, but I can't run, like it was my outlet. So it's been tough, but talking about it with friends, my husband, my family has helped.
That's great. So what is your projected recovery time for being able to go on a run?
So I'm hoping like they wanted me to wait till like sometime in May to kind of start like
Yeah.
reintroducing light jogging. I'm going to do cardiac rehab,
Right.
which is good for me. It's more of like not helping me walk, but it's helping me understand my heart rates and where I should be when I go for a run, and not to push myself because or just get back up to my old endurance. But my surgeon said you can run a marathon if you want. So I was like, okay, I just want to be able to go out there and just enjoy myself, to do the
Yeah.
right thing. But maybe I'll do another half marathon. It's on my mind.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like one of the things that has been a common theme in your story specifically is this power of gaining information, right? Like you had high cholesterol, okay, a lot of people do, and but it was trending downward, and you were doing everything right, and you were living this healthy lifestyle. But having that additional information of your family health history, that's the thing that made your doctor say, you know what, let's look a little further. And then the
Yes,
more information that he collected, that
correct.
that totally led to your diagnosis and led to you being here with us today. And now
Yes.
you're talking about understanding heart rates and how to move forward. So I guess my question to you is, what do you wish that you knew sooner?
I wish I wish I had done the calcium score test sooner
Hmm.
because then I would at least have a knowledge of it. I wish maybe if I did the calcium score test at 40, 10
Hmm.
years ago, right? Maybe I would have been on statin and not have to go through this surgery. Would
Right.
medication, if I had done medication earlier, what if? Like those are the things that go on
Sure.
there. So to me, I feel like knowing your numbers
Hmm.
is important, is truly important. And there's so much, and you brought up a good point about information. There's so much out there on social media, like your head will explode. And
So much.
um, there's a lot of, I will say, a lot of content you might see, and it like contradicts what cardiologists tell. I saw something on, I'm not even want to talk about it, but I was like, wait a minute, that is the opposite of what my doctor told me to do. So like I get nervous and I'm like commenting on these posts going like, this is not smart advice,
Hmm.
like I just feel like gather all the information, but important, talk to your doctor. I think everybody needs to go to the physical every year, have conversations, understand what you're at risk for. Maybe you're at risk for diabetes, maybe you're at risk for cancer, but everybody should be concerned about
Sure.
heart health because it is such a huge and silent disease that affects everybody.
Absolutely, and majorly preventable. It's approximately
Yes.
80% of cardiovascular diseases are preventable through lifestyle changes. But
Yes,
just as you said, those lifestyle changes are not the same for every single person.
yes,
Your heart health needs and dangers are completely different from mine or from someone
correct.
else's.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep. And and you hit a good point because you can control 50%. You can control what you can control,
yeah,
but there's a part you can't. Your body's going to do what it's going to do. That's what my
yeah,
cardiologist told me. He's
yeah.
only so much you can do. Do these things. These are going to hedge your bets. And I think it's just important to just listen to what they have to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I know that you and Jimmy have posted content on the internet for a long time. You guys have
yeah.
such a great following. How has your audience responded to you posting heart disease, heart health, heart surgery content?
It's been very positive, and we only started this like like a lot of people started it on
Yeah.
during the pandemic, downloaded TikTok, and then here we are. Like it's still crazy to both of us that this is happening, but I felt like when this was happening, I needed to post about my story because it's so important. It could happen to anybody. It could happen to me. Like I still can't believe it happened to me, but it happened to me, right?
Yeah.
But people have been very receptive. I get a lot of advice from people unsolicited of do this, test, tell me what to test and eat and not eat. Don't trust the doctors. But there's just a small piece of that. But I think a big piece of it is I've had there's 3 or 4 people in particular whose husbands and wives who've been going through the same thing that I did, asymptomatic. I met through chatting, just 2 people whose husbands had bypass, asymptomatic, and they're
Wow.
in their close to my age. They're in their early 50s, and similar things, no symptoms, family history, like all the things are there. So it's been, I would say overall, it's been very, very positive. And look, if I could reach out to one person, they read this and they go to the doctor, I think that's the best thing ever. So, because it's so important. I can't stress it to anybody.
It's so important. And I love that you're using your platform and your reach to just help inform people and
Yeah.
hopefully empower people to take their health into their own hands. Because
Yeah.
going to the doctor, understanding your numbers, looking at all of those things, it's so overwhelming, or it can
Yes.
be, and scary. I mean, stepping on a
Yes.
scale is scary enough,
I
right?
know.
Looking in the mirror can be scary enough
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, I know. And then you get this whole blood work, and sometimes too, doctors are at fault. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they don't spend enough time and explain what all these little things mean. And it wasn't only till after I learned all this that I went back to my blood work. Like it
Mm,
showed everything was in range, but what is the CRP? What is this? What is that? I started
right.
looking into it more. Um, but yeah, I agree. It's very scary, but you just got to be brave and show up and take the time to understand it. It's your health.
Absolutely.
It's the only thing that it, you only get one. You only get one you. So it's just up to you to take care of yourself.
Totally. And even as you and I have just been talking here for 16 minutes, the amount of stories in the comments, people talking about the importance of calcium scores in for their family, people talking about their loved ones and their survival stories or their stories of struggles with heart health. This is something that's so far reaching. So I
Hmm.
really, really want to thank you for coming on here today.
I'm so glad you asked me
Just
to. Yeah.
just 6 weeks out from your open heart
Hmm.
surgery, about to start cardiac rehab, already thinking about your next half marathon,
Yeah, I can't wait.
and just tell
Yeah,
everybody your story and encourage all of us to dig a little deeper.
yeah, it's been great. I'm so glad you invited me to here. It's great.
It's so awesome, John. One of the things that we say here at the Heart Foundation is you're never too young and it's never too late, because
100%.
while heart disease can impact anyone at any time, it's also you're never too young and it's never too late to start living a more heart healthy lifestyle.
Yeah,
Um, it's a powerful decision to make at any age. So thank you so much for being an incredible example of that
you're
and of
welcome.
taking your health into your own hands. It's so wonderful. And I'm so happy that you're
Yes.
here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And please tell Jimmy we said hi.
I absolutely will. He's on a work call. Otherwise, I'd have him
That's
come in and say
okay.
hello.
That's okay. Tell him we said hi. And
I will.
I look forward to more hilarious content from you guys and more educational content from
Yes,
you. And
I have a few heart posts I
yes,
have coming up. So,
I can't wait. And then come summer, some running content. We'll be
yes,
following along.
100%.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. You have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Everybody,
Thank you,
thanks for
Hannah.
joining us.
Bye.
Bye.